Hey yo, what is up guys? Hey, back with a brand new video, and today for you guys we are bringing something I'm very sad about. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. We are going to be talking about the full fight, and I just want to share with you guys my opinion on the whole fight because it makes me so mad. I've been crashing out ever since about it. I can't stop talking about it, and I just want to rewatch this whole fight and just talk about it to you guys, and I want to know what you guys think, your comments. I just want to read it all, I want to see it all, I want to reply to it all, because this is actually something that's making me crash out after watching this fight. So anyways, let's get started with the video. I'm ready to talk about it. So going into round one, I noticed that Mike is giving his all. He basically wants an early round knockout. I think we both know, and Mike Tyson knows, that if he's going to play the distance game, his age is going to play a factor, because him being older, he's not going to have as much stamina, and I think him being older also makes his body more stiff. And just that being said, with his cardio, it's just not going to look good for him in the later rounds. And it's easier for him to get knocked out and slip up and mess up more in the later rounds. So I think what Mike's goal was here was to go into the early rounds, maybe round 1 or 2, because those are the only rounds he tried on in the match. I'm not saying he didn't try in the rest of the rounds. I'm just saying he put in less effort to try and chase Jake Paul down. But so round 1 comes in. Mike's going absolutely crazy. He's going ham. I mean, he's exploding towards him. He's chasing Jake down. He's in there throwing his jabs, trying to figure out his reach. He's in there just trying to go in and absolutely demolish him round 1. You can see it. And Jake Paul's just running. Jake Paul is scared regardless. I don't care if he says anything. I don't care what he said in any press conference. The only thing that really shows is your actions in the ring, and you can tell Jake Paul is so scared. You might not be able to tell on his face right now, but he's scared. So Mike Tyson is pushing him in round 1, exploding towards him, throwing his hands around, and Jake Paul is just backstepping. He's circling around Mike. He's dipping on Mike. He's running away from Mike while Mike's sitting there pushing him. And it's smart on Jake's end to tire him down and not get hit by those, so he's trying to get away. But at the same time, he said he wanted this to be entertaining, and it was going to be the most entertaining fight in the world. And it's not entertaining to watch someone run away from a fighter. If you're going to do a boxing match, I feel like you have to box, you have to fight. Now, I agree Mike Tyson's a scary man with a lot of power, and if Jake Paul's in there, obviously he's going to get knocked out. And I think Jake knew that too, that if he got close in there like that Mike wasn't going to encounter anything. And we already saw from the fight that Mike can eat punches, because he ate some of Jake's and he's fine, and him being at that age eating those punches is very impressive. So we all know that he wasn't going to knock him out. Jake wasn't going to knock Mike out, but Mike, if he got in there, he was taking Jake out. We saw he still had that power, and he landed a couple good clean shots. So he's running away, and any time that he couldn't run away and he got caught 2 or 3 times, they would hug. And it's not Mike, it's Jake. Jake was hugging so that when they got separated, he could keep backstepping and running. And the whole fight was based off of Jake running around Mike Tyson in circles and just backstepping. He'd come in for a jab and then backstep or double backstep or switch sides. He was getting the crap. I don't want to cuss in this, but he was getting out of there. I mean, any chance he had, every chance. It's like I'm watching Ring Around the Rosie in boxing. Literally, Jake's just circling the ring, and you just see Mike Tyson bouncing back and forth and jumping back and forth, and you see him, bopping his head around, and he's just coming in, charging him, and throwing some punches, and you got Jake just backstepping. He spammed that emote. That must have been his favorite emote or something, because that's all he hit was backsteps. And Jake having longer reach, he didn't have to get as close when he threw his jab, so after he threw his jab, it would land on Mike, and he could still backstep without Mike getting in and fighting him. And if you guys know Mike, you know Mike as a closer fighter. That's how he has so much power. That's how he's good at knocking out. He's just a closer combat fighter. So if you're getting in there with him and he's close to you and he catches you, that's how he knocks you out. That's how he takes you out. That's how he takes your life. And that's just why he's a good boxer, and that's just his thing. And he just couldn't get close enough to Jake Paul. He couldn't get in there with Jake Paul because Jake kept running, and that's what ruined the fight. Because I think if Jake wasn't running this whole fight and they both were in there and they were both swapping hands, hitting each other, and they were both using their technique, I think this would have been a great fight, and I think we could have saw something amazing and cool. And that leads to the other thing about it being scripted. Could be scripted. Jake Paul supposedly should win the fight either way, but the fact that this is a 58-year-old, like, no hate on Mike Tyson, I think age is just a number after seeing him bounce around like that and having a knee injury, and he's still pushing through. Mike Tyson's 58. Jake has had 10 professional fights with 7 KOs, and he's knocked down every single opponent he's ever fought. By knockdown, I mean someone gets hit and they get knocked down, not a knockout. But 7 KOs with 10 knockdowns, he either gets a knockdown or a knockout in every single fight. But the one time he fights 58-year-old Mike Tyson, none of that happens. No knockdown, no knockout, too scared to get in there with him. He's basically just running around like a little girl, staying away from him, and we have never seen Jake Paul do this in any of his matches ever. And I don't think that's the fact that he respects him for being, like, older, and he doesn't want to go hard, because you can see Jake hit him with some good punches. And if you watch the press conference after the fight, Jake was saying that he felt bad later on in the fight seeing Mike, like, out of breath or tired or whatever, just from being older. But that's no excuse, because Jake still could have stepped in. Like Jake said, he needs to die. He's taking him out. He's knocking him out. He did none of those things. He didn't even try to knock him out or take him down. He didn't even try to knock him down at all. Everything Jake said was complete bullcrap, and I think it was all just a big show, like a big showcase, all fake, leading up to the fights where they could get the biggest massive viewing to make all this money, and all they have to do is go mess around and do absolutely nothing in a ring and act like it's a boxing match. It's basically like WWE acting in a boxing match, just that they get paid, and then they acted like it was all real and they were talking all this smack leading all the way up to the fight. Because if they were really going to fight and do a boxing match, I don't think Jake would be running around in circles. And also around 3 to 8, Mike Tyson knew he wasn't going to catch Jake. Jake's younger, an athlete. He has more cardio. He's going to keep running. Mike Tyson can't do nothing about it. That's it. So I think that Mike Tyson saw that, and that's why he just chilled. He just sat there bouncing around, waiting for Jake to come and throw some punches, and then he'd slip him or counter him. And Tyson's not going to throw any punches back. He knows that he has to get in there to hit him, and he knows he can't get in there because Jake's just too fast. He's getting out of there. And he knew that, and he was just waiting for his moment that Jake would hopefully slip up and come in, and maybe he'd get him, and it never happened. So Tyson didn't throw anything, and Jake just played the long-distance game. He waited out all the rounds. He threw some jabs here and there, and he stayed away from Mike. And I think all that matters to Jake Paul is that this win is on his record, and he can always say that he beat Mike Tyson. But anyone who ever watches this fight and sees the performance of Jake Paul, everyone is going to, shame on him and hate on him so hard, and as they should, because this was an awful performance by Jake Paul. Running away from a 58-year-old and being scared of him and not actually fighting him, and most likely having this scripted to where he literally had to win. None of this looks good on Jake Paul. And just seeing the performance in general, he's supposed to be a really good boxer, and he claims to be the best in the world, and he claims to be better than Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson was in his prime. Obviously, no one thinks that's true. Jake Paul is just talking out of his cheeks. Sorry, I'm trying not to, say some bad words. Jake is just a whole circus act. He does all this for a show. None of this means anything, really. Mike Tyson really trained hard and tried hard, and I think he wanted this to be a real fight. And it just sucks for Mike Tyson that Mike Tyson couldn't have a real fight because Jake was too scared and wanted the money. Jake did it for the money. And I'm not saying Mike Tyson didn't, because, I agree, Mike Tyson probably did, because we all know, if you don't know, about Mike Tyson's bankruptcy and his cash. Sorry. So, I think it was all just a big money scam. I think Mike Tyson did train hard, and he was going to go all out, and I think the reason he was biting his gloves so much and so hard was to restrain himself from physically absolutely killing Jake Paul. Because if they would have fought in the first 3 rounds of this, if you guys watched the fight, I'm assuming all of you did if you're here, if you guys did watch the fight and they were both in together, I think that Mike Tyson would have won easy. Being 58, just looking at him for the first 2.5 to 3 rounds, Mike looks absolutely amazing. But after that, he's tired down, he's worn down. All he's been doing is running around after Jake, and Jake's just playing the long game. And the fact that he had to win by decision, not a knockdown, not a knockout, no power hits landed on Mike Tyson. He had to win by decision just by tapping him like a little puppy dog, by hitting him with a squeaker, by barely even touching him, hitting him like a sponge. just winning by a card, just winning by who had more punches, because supposedly Jake Paul has 300 punches in this fight. I don't believe it. He probably has half of that, like 150 punches. I didn't see how much Mike Tyson had, but I know he only landed 19 the whole fight. 19, that's it, out of 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds. Only 19 hits landed. That's like 2 hits per round, right? I'm not sure. Don't criticize. I'm not even thinking right now, but that is not anything. If Mike Tyson was there and Mike Tyson was in with Jake, boom, 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 like, lights out, Jake. Like, Mike Tyson perfected the art of boxing, and regardless of his age, he proved that he can still do stuff like this. And by performance, Mike Tyson won. That's all I gotta say. Jake's performance, Mike's performance, Mike Tyson won. Jake might have won on the scorecard, but I think we all know who really won that fight, and everyone is so proud of Mike, because literally look at Mike at 58 doing this. I think age is just a number, honestly. It's all just a mental game. It's how old you think you are. How old do you feel? He doesn't feel old, and he's proving that by training and doing this. He's proving it to the world, but his goal is to prove it to himself, and that's what he did. And after the fight, he said he didn't know if he wanted to box or not, so that's going to be a decision on his end that he's going to have to think about. But he said that he probably would do another fight, and I think it's because just the feeling, the adrenaline, and he loves being back doing what he loves doing and what he always does. So I think that we'll see more of Mike Tyson fighting. I think we'll see a couple more matches, at least 2 or 3, or at least another one before he officially quits, just because of probably his health and age, obviously. He's getting up there, and you just can't fight forever. It's just how it is. But this fight was most 100% definitely for the money scam, and I think that if he does any other fights, now that he got the big payday, he'll do another fight, and I think he'll prove to us that how good he can actually be, and he'll prove that this was literally a scam by actually fighting someone and being in a ring and fighting and not having them run away while he's trying to power through to him. That's really all I have to say about it. I just don't think Jake really won the fight. Yeah, he might have won on the scorecards, but this whole fight was just rigged and a bad fight in general. Like, you have to admit, this fight was complete garbage. Round 1 and 2 looked good. They were okay, but this whole fight was boring. Nothing happened. They were just looking at each other, standing there. Not saying it's Mike's fault, but it's just what happened. It's just how the fight went. And actually, I'm just saying this off the top of my head, from after watching the fight. I'm not watching the fight right now, but it's really all I have to say. That's my opinion. That's my take on this fight. If you guys have made it this far, thank you guys for listening to me yap about this whole situation. So I have been staring at the same picture of Mike Tyson and Jake Paul that I've had up here. It just changed. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you guys for listening to me. I'm not going to have any cuts, any edits in this. If you already watched this far, you already know. I just wanted to talk about it with you guys. So if you guys actually, cared and wanted to listen and give opinions, listen to what I have to say. That's all this video was about. I also haven't posted in a while, but I'm thinking about coming back to posting, and I'm also thinking about coming back to boxing, so I might start boxing again. I have been training for the last week, which is why I'm still deciding whether I want to do it or not. The only reason I stopped was because of school. I stopped boxing because of school, and I stopped recording for YouTube because of school. So I've been doing well and trying to get my work done at school, and I still do lift weights and work out. I'm still in shape. We're not going to get into all that right now, but I am going to post another video followed by this one not long after. Possibly today, possibly tomorrow, we'll see. But make sure you guys give this a thumbs up, and please comment down below and let me know your thoughts on all of this. Write paragraphs, write sentences, write whatever you want, write however you feel. It's okay if you guys don't agree with me. I just want to read and respond. Obviously, everyone's going to have different opinions and see it differently. It depends what team you're on, who you like. I'll understand. I'm not going to argue with anyone. I just want to know. Just want to simply know. But yeah, I think I might be coming back to boxing now. We'll see about that. I did just order some headgear and mouth guards, and here soon I'm going to be getting more equipment to train with. And I've been doing a lot better, and I've been practicing, and I've been training, and I've been doing what I do. And I think I'm doing really well, and I'm excited to show you guys because I do have some unreleased footage I took recently of me on the heavy bag. And my physique is way different now, and my style of fighting is different. and it's really exciting to show you guys that. And I'm also going to be sparring here really soon, which is why I have the headgear and mouth guard. So I'm going to start sparring people now before I get into actual fighting, which is also exciting. And I think that's what a lot of you guys have wanted to see on my YouTube channel for a long time, for at least the last 2 to 3 months, of all the fans that are on here that watch me box and train. And before that, I did look really bad. I'm not going to admit. When I go back and watch my old clips, it does hurt my eyes, and I don't like what I'm seeing and what I'm doing. And I do look a lot better now, and I understand now, and I've practiced it. I practice just the art of boxing. I practice my fundamentals. I practice my footwork. I train for stamina. I train for endurance and speed. I'm learning more than just combinations now, because combinations was my biggest target, and now I'm understanding how to just throw punches and learn to see openings, take openings, and strike. And I'm also practicing my defense, and I'm moving a lot more, practicing my slipping and rolling, and everything's just coming together very nicely. And boxing is a serious sport that you have to take serious, and it does take a while to train in. So when you're watching it versus when you're doing it, it's a lot harder than you really think it is, especially to be good at it. And I'm humble enough to know that I was pretty trash before, but I was grinding, and everyone starts somewhere, and I think I'm a lot better now. So subscribe if you're new to the channel, subscribe if you like what you see. I hope to see some of you guys back here again here soon when I post more boxing footage. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon, and I will see you guys in the next video. And I'll also be posting up a video later of me explaining more into depth of the reason I was gone, I guess. Maybe not, but really the biggest reason is just school. So anyways, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I love and support all y'all. I hope y'all come back and enjoy this, and I hope to see a lot of you guys back in the comments.